Welcome back to Pinpoint Hoops. Third video on the channel now, slowly growing, but I want to talk about some of the most disrespected NBA players in the league. I am leaving out arguably the most disrespected player for a separate video. But Paul George, he has to be the most disrespected player in the league. I don't think there's really another person that tops that. But it's so dumb to me that people literally hate him because of the playoff series. They act like a year before that he wasn't averaging 28, 8, 4, and 2 steals. He led the league in steals in OKC. Led the league. And now that he has a bad playoff series, he's all of a sudden a bad player, which is just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling to me. Paul George, he gets a lot of shit for a lot of different things. The fact that he quote-unquote bricks shots. This season alone, he's averaging, I'm a round up, he's averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a half a block, with only 3 turnovers. That is great numbers. That's great, stats. But let's talk about the field goal percentage, the shooting splits. On 16.5 attempts, he's shooting almost 50% from the field. On almost 8 attempts from 3, he's shooting 45%. 45% from 3. That's crazy. That's, no. That is nuts. And then free throw percentage, really doesn't matter all that much, but he's shooting 88%, which WW. But this trend of hating on players when they have a couple bad games or they can't do something that the greatest player of all time can do is just so obnoxious. Yes, we know Paul George played like shit against the Nuggets. We know. So did Kawhi in the last game. I'm pretty sure. Was it the last game? He had 14 points or something like that. Shot 20-something%. Terrible game. But the hate from that playoff series is just continuing into this season. In the whole club, quote-unquote club, of just hated and disrespected players is growing to the point where it's not even just great players, it's MVP players. One of these players is probably top 10 all time in his position already. And another one of these players is, top 5, top 10 in the league right now, and it's not really debatable. You could debate other players above him. Maybe he can be 10, but Luka Doncic gets nothing but hate nowadays from everyone because of his foul drawing, but he doesn't even do it at a rate that other players do it at. Trae Young he will literally drive to the basket and jump backwards into the defender and pretend he's shooting to draw the foul, which is just obnoxious. No one wants to see this. Nobody wants to see this. But Luka Doncic, on the other hand, he does do that to an extent. But he isn't just fully driving to the basket and stopping and jumping backwards. He's more so just walking with the ball, and he'll nudge the defender than shoot. You know, to draw the foul, act as shooting or whatever. But I don't even know if that's the reason why people hate Luka nowadays. Is like, what is he doing that people hate? It's not like he's stat padding. People will say it is, but he's not, because the team is just bad. He's trying to do as much as he can to win. He's averaging 28, 8 rebounds and 9 assists. He's averaging more assists than last year, which is weird because the team is so much more worse. He's shooting better from the field. He's shooting better from 3, surprisingly, because he was off to a horrendous start this season. But I don't understand where the hate is coming from. Is it because he's not the most efficient player? Is it because he's quote-unquote stat padding? Is it because he's giving your team 45 a game or something? Like, I don't understand where the hate is coming from. He is... how old? He's like 21, 22 years old. Because we can't talk about how he's not making the finals or he's not going into the playoffs because he's literally like 22 years old. So is that why? Like, I don't understand. Is it because he's leading his team and they're not making the playoffs, even though everyone's hyping him up to be like a top whatever player now? But you have to understand, this team isn't good. This Mavericks team is bad. Porzingis is bad this year. Josh Richardson is not doing what they need him to do. Tim Hardaway Jr. is having flashes of good role player play, but he's not good this year. They got rid of one of the greatest shooters of all time for someone who is doing nothing for what they need him to do. I don't understand where the hate is coming from. Like, what is sparking it? But for someone, I do understand where the hate is coming from with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because people are saying, oh, he can't lead his team to the finals. He can't, he can't even get past the conference finals. He can't get past the second round. He's 26 years old. LeBron didn't even make the finals at 26, if I'm not mistaken. So, but again, comparisons are bad. I hate them. I don't know why I did that. Comparisons are literally bad because if let's say Giannis doesn't play to the caliber of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's failed as a player. That's what most of like NBA Twitter and Instagram are talking about, which is so fucking dumb to me. Because Giannis is, I would say, an all-time great power forward already. I would say top 10 all-time. He's better than a lot of your top whatever players, but you're not going to admit it because he's still playing and he's young. But he does absolutely everything. He's an MVP caliber player still. He's averaging 29, 11.5 boards, 6 assists, 56% from the field, 30% from 3, which is crazy good for Giannis anyways. Like, what is his career? Yeah, it's bad, but it's like, it's whatever. It's weird to me because he's playing so good, but people find some way to hate him. He's not really like a crazy crybaby. He's not like trying to say he's better than he really is, because, I mean, he's a top 3 player in the league. He's not like in people's faces just randomly. Like, he's not a menace to the court. Like, I don't understand where the hate stems from. Is it because he doesn't shoot the ball? Because I know a lot of Instagram accounts actually that hate players that can't shoot. Like Flight Reacts is one of those people. If you can't shoot, you're bad, which is not true at all. Draymond Green doesn't score the ball whatsoever, but he is a great player. He is nothing short of an amazing facilitator. He's a great defender and great rebounder, and mind you, he's a 6'7" power forward, and he is facilitating, and he's guarding the biggest player on the court. Draymond is something crazy to me because he does get a lot of shit, like a lot more than he should. It fluctuated from back in like 2014, 2015, when Steph Curry had his rise to, superstardom, MVP level. Everyone was talking about how this team is just amazing. Draymond, such a good player, a spot-up shooter. But he's not. But now, come last year when Curry and Clay were both out and Draymond had to take, a lot of the load of being a ball handler, and people were just disrespecting him because he wasn't putting up 25 a game. But that's never been his role. That's never what he has done. That's not what he is as a player. He is not a scorer. He is the on-court coach. He's a floor general. He tells you where you're supposed to be, who you're guarding, what play is being run. He's going to take that ball. He's going to find the open man. He's going to find Curry in the corner, or Curry cutting across, Klay Thompson in the corner, Klay Thompson coming off a pick. He's going to find that guy. But last year, when they weren't there, he had fucking... Who was on that team? D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Poole, Kai Bowman. Like, he had just... D'Angelo Russell's not a nobody, but he had a lot of nobody bum players that he had to build up. That team was bad, though. And Curry came back and they won, I think, a couple of the games he came back for. But it's dumb because everyone was just putting everyone on this Warriors team on a pedestal back in 2015, and then Curry's out for majority of the season, and everyone shits on Draymond because he isn't scoring the ball at a Stephen Curry rate, which is so stupid to me. But back to Giannis, he doesn't do anything short of greatness. He is a great playmaker for his size, great rebounder. He's a ball handler. He's, an on-court coach, sort of. He can score the ball just about anywhere except 3, but we'll see when Giannis can up that shot. But the hate mostly stems from the fact that he can't shoot, I'm pretty sure, and the fact that he isn't the greatest playoff player. But you have to understand people comparing him to LeBron because, especially last year, Giannis got swept. Almost swept. I'll say he got gentlemen swept by the Heat and Jimmy Butler and Bam and them. But LeBron did it to the Rockets and the Blazers. And then he swept the Nuggets, who just beat the Clippers. So LeBron's obviously better, man. You gotta understand that LeBron plays with Anthony Davis, and Giannis plays with Chris Middleton and Eric fucking Bledsoe, who isn't there anymore. Anthony Davis is a lot better player than Chris Middleton. I personally like Chris Middleton a lot better because Chris Middleton's a lot more efficient. He's a smarter ball handler and whatnot. Chris Middleton also gets a lot of disrespect, even though he's having a very similar season to last year. But this is a trend through casual NBA fans. People who just watch players on the surface and follow one player till they die, which is a lot of LeBron fans. Mostly LeBron fans, Curry fans, or this is wide base, but a lot of Celtics fans are like this too. Like, fans of lower tier teams aren't really super hateful towards random players, but it does stem from people who mostly build up players that are already up there, which I don't understand it, but I don't know why people can't just appreciate someone who doesn't shoot or score the ball. But Paul George does. Luka does. Giannis doesn't shoot, but he scores the ball better than just about everyone in the league, but he still gets hate because of the playoffs. But he's 26 years old. Give him time. He'll get there. He'll get his ring sooner or later. But I think that's going to end the video. This was Pinpoint Hoops.